Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, Jiunn?
Doing good.
Back to work on Monday. Today, we are talking about the Southern Draw, Quick Draw, Pennsylvania Broadleaf Short Panatela. So this is a cigar that's 5.5 inch by 40 ring gauge. Comes out of the Tabacalera Fernandez factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Pennsylvania Broadleaf. The binder is from Nicaragua, and the filler is from Nicaragua and Honduras. It's blended by Robert Holt and AJ Fernandez. Price point is $5.50, and the cigar was released in August of 2016. So, June, with that out of the way, what was your pre-light experience like?
I thought the pre-light was overall pretty good. So in terms of the look, very thick, hearty, dark brown wrapper, just as kind of what I expected out of something that has like a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper on it. So veins well pressed, seems tight, visible. Bunch roll felt really good. Uniform give throughout the whole cigar. Heads finish off with a really well adhered triple cap. In terms of the nosing experience in cold draw, wrapper, I got a mixture of cedar and barnyard, smell of the foot, baking spices, and a sharp white pepper. A cold draw white pepper that was especially prevalent on my lips, and a gritty dry earth. So very rustic, kind of a broadleaf presentation.
Yeah, wrapper was dark brown, a couple visible veins. Seams were very smooth. They were a bit hard to see. There appeared to be two caps that kind of finished off with a twist that's broken off. Foot was covered with excess wrapper that was folded over. Single band, kind of standard quick draw band that designates the cigar having that Pennsylvania wrapper. Aroma from the wrapper was a mix of chocolate and earth. Foot aroma was kind of the same due to that covered foot, so I really wasn't able to get anything else out of it. Pre-light draw was really tight, also due to that closed foot, but I was able to get a little slight hay note along with a decent spice on my lips from the wrapper. So getting into the flavor, what was your experience like?
Starting from the first third, initial few draws, really nice bouquet of flavors. It hit earth, sweetness. So it was really good as compared to most Pennsylvania broadleafs that I've had. Typically don't hit that wide of a range. Flavors of dry red pepper, especially on the tip of the tongue, toast, dry earth, cream nuttiness. Half inch in, I started getting this super tasty baking, like a baker's chocolate, as well as baking spices. When retrohaling, deeper notes of spice in the form of black pepper and baking spices. Finished surprisingly clean for such a hearty wrapper, but it was pretty short, mainly giving me like a layered red pepper and dry nuts. Strength and body for the most part at the medium mark. Moving on to the second third. One of the main things about the second third was a spike in the dry red pepper, but it was an increased aspect of it, but it wasn't so strong that it dominated the other notes. Especially being the baker's chocolate and the dry, slightly gritty earth. Retro, same thing. Increased black pepper, baking spices. Finish becomes drier and longer. Layered red pepper, dry nuts, and started getting some cardboard coming through. Body moves moves up to somewhere between medium, full, while strength is still at the medium mark. Now, finish off with the last third. It just showed a continuous spike in that pepper, and it started to really increase and move towards the back of my palate. That baker's chocolate is unfortunately gone, replaced by slightly sweet cream nuttiness. Retro also showed increase in spice, giving me a really powerful black pepper with dried nuts in the background. Finish, spice delivery no longer layered, but it really lingered on my palate. It was a lot more fuller, and that was paired with a dry wood. Body still medium, full. Strength kicked it up to medium full. So pretty good range of flavors overall.
Yeah, as the cigar began for me, it brought like a heavy wood note with some black pepper in the background. Half inch in, that wood mellowed out, which let the pepper shine through a little bit more and kind of round out the profile. At 3/4 of an inch in, the wood became more identifiable as cedar, along with that pepper and that slight addition of some cream there. Retrohale, just a smooth cedar. and then at 1.5 inches, a little bit of chocolate moved in and kind of pushed that cream out, while the cedar moved back to a kind of a general wood note. There was still a slight bit of pepper in the background and a little bit on the finish as well. Strength in the first third was just shy of medium full. Second third, chocolate kind of transitioned to a coffee note to go along with the wood and the slight black pepper. At a 1/2 inch in, that coffee leaves the profile and is replaced by a slight bitterness that kind of goes along with the wood. At 1 inch in, bitterness increases and smashiness appears to go along with that general wood note. And then at 1.5 inches, a musty note kind of joined in with that bitter wood and the ashiness. And that's how that third finished out. And strength was just slightly above medium at that point. Getting in the final third, it was bitter wood, mustiness, ashiness had kind of gone away at that point. A 1/2 inch in, the bitterness goes away. Profile is now smooth wood with a little bit of mustiness. And then as the cigar came to a close, a little bit of cream joined in with that wood and the mustiness. And the retrohale was just like kind of a creamy wood note. And the strength in the final third was just slightly above medium. So getting into performance for burn and draw, what was your experience like?
Performance was really good. So that's kind of expected out of something that comes out of AJ's factory. In terms of burn, I scored a perfect. Even being such a proposed quick draw, like a shorter smoke, I still had a smoking time of 1 hour and 10 minutes, which is fantastic. Ashes held on tight, 1.5 inch increments of self-tapped ashes. Burn line, even though burn line super even throughout the whole smoking time. In terms of the draw slightly snug for my liking, but it was still really good. I mean, and regardless of kind of where I played with the kind of cutting within the cap, it was still slightly a little tight, but all in all, really well constructed.
Yeah, burn was just slightly wavy, but never needed any attention. Ash held on in 3/4 inch increments, so it was really very good burn. In regards to the draw, it was a bit snug for me. I didn't feel like it affected the smoking experience, but I think I did the same thing you did. I tried a second cut, didn't really do much for me. I even tried a little bit of a draw tool, didn't really open it up that much. But it was just more of a, it just felt a little snug. I just wanted to see if I could open it up a little bit. I didn't really have any luck with that. So overall, what were your thoughts on the cigar?
Usually, when I see something that's disclosed as Pennsylvania Broadleaf, doesn't really get me all hyped up or excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually these kind of wrapper cigars are more of a miss and a hit for me, because I typically feel like it's usually too dry and or it's too heavily earth centric.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think this was the case with this cigar. I really like that first third, or especially showed a lot of complexity. But as the cigar progressed on, I felt like that red pepper note just kept on increasing to the point where by the last third, it was too dominant with that pepper note.
Mm-hmm.
But I especially love like that baker's chocolate note and baking spices mixing with that note. It tasted like I love that note. It was super tasty. Finish is something that's kind of noteworthy in my opinion as well. I feel like most of these Pennsylvania broadleafs, the finish could be really gritty and really heavy on my palate. But I didn't feel like that was the case with this cigar. I mean, it was, it's not like you're smoking a Connecticut shade, of course, but there's still some heaviness, but it wasn't overwhelmingly heavy.
Right.
So given all that stuff, I happily smoke this again, especially maybe with some more downtime. It'll taste like more of that first third down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it was a primarily woody experience with some pepper and kind of accompanying notes of chocolate and coffee. As the cigar went along, a little bit of mustiness joined in, which I tend to enjoy. It's not a turnoff for me. Performance was pretty good, and the strength started a bit full, but kind of came back to that medium mark. QuickDraw series, it's one that combines the flavor and the value, because it's only $5.50, so it's a good mix. And I think that this kind of just nails exactly what he's been doing with the QuickDraw line. It delivers on both sides. And some people might find this like ideal daily smoke. If you like broadleaf cigars and you can't you want to smoke a lot and you can't afford $12 broadleaf cigars to smoke all the time, this is a really good cigar to kind of put in that rotation. I definitely come back to it time to time and smoke it. It was really good smoke. So getting into the scores, I gave it a 5.80. You gave it a 7.13. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
Matches well. The scoring wasn't so consistent for me, especially within the flavor notes, because I did it like starting very good to average. But that was paired with really good construction notes. So overall, that 7 range is really good. This one could definitely score something that's better than that. And I'm banking on it just tasting better and better, and more like that first third experience I had as time goes on.
Yeah, I think the cigar will definitely make it onto your kind of top 25 value cigars, because just based on the price point and how the score worked out for you, I think it's going to probably get up there pretty high for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. As it should be. I mean, it should be right up there. So.
Yeah. I think my score matched experience. I rated the flavor good, average. I guess I didn't enjoy it as much as you did, but I still think it's a very good cigar, and especially for the value, even though that doesn't play a part in our scoring system. But construction, I kind of marked it down, one level from you on each of the 2 different areas. Overall, it's still a good cigar, and it's something that like I said, it's not going to break the bank. Good flavors, definitely enjoyable. Fits right in line with the whole QuickDraw concept. So I think it's a good cigar, and I think lots of people will like it. So, any other final thoughts from you?
I think this whole QuickDraw concept fits somebody like me perfectly, because I like thinner ring gauge stuff, and shorter cigars in general really works better for me, just because I get to taste different flavors, and I don't need to wait like 2 hours to smoke something. But
right,
like that within his Connie shade that he has, which I really dug. Like this will be a great follow-up to that, I think.
Yep, exactly. We're just catching this video on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.